Local 4 News begins right now with a breaking news alert.
First at 4, we begin with breaking news from Milan and Monroe County, where US 23 is closed in both directions at Plank Road. Take a look at your screen right now. You can see there has been a serious accident involving a truck. This is a live look at the scene from Sky 4. We're told at least one person was airlifted to the hospital by survival flight, and that somebody may have actually been ejected from their car during the crash. As you can see, that truck is right now on its side, and clearly there are fire trucks surrounding the scene, which there was a fire earlier, which it appears that it has been doused out, but you can see many firefighters actually on the ground as well. We will have more updates in this breaking story, and you can get more updates on clickondetroit.com. Also, first at 4, we're watching for some storms once again. You know, after thunder and lightning overnight, a cold front crashing into some hot, muggy weather, and that can mean some trouble for all of us. Let's get right to Ben Bailey with what we can expect in the first forecast.
Yep, Karen, just within the next few hours, we're going to be watching this very carefully. The storm's already starting to fire, but they're north of I-69. You can see this line right now, well back to our north and west. Very slow moving. These are only moving at about 25 to 30 miles an hour. Lightning and some downpours, but there's a thin line. No severe thunderstorm warnings with this yet. We're going to be watching it very carefully. A couple showers starting to pop across St. Clair County and southern Sanilac County. Other than that, the rest of us are dry. Where those storms are firing, that's where most of the instability is. There is a marginal risk for severe weather for the southern end of the state, but that instability actually decreases the further south you get towards the state line. So we'll be watching that at least over the next few hours, and we'll talk more about what's to come for the weekend in just a few minutes. Karen?
All right, thank you, Ben. Also, first at 4, we're following a dog attack. It happened on the city's east side. The 44-year-old man was attacked around 9 this morning at his home on Edmore Street. The family says he was just doing some work in the backyard when that dog suddenly attacked and bit him on the arm. The man's forearm is severely gashed in 2 places, and he is going to need multiple surgeries. The dog was reportedly tranquilized before he was taken by animal control. Right now, we're waiting to hear what will happen to that dog. The man accused of driving his pickup truck into a group of people outside of Shinola headquarters is headed to trial. 42-year-old DeAndre Simmons is accused of driving drunk on the wrong side of the street and crashing into 3 people on June 8th. A 73-year-old South Lyon man died. 2 others were injured. Today, a judge decided there was enough evidence to go to trial after one of the victims took the stand. Our coverage continues at 5 with this video of the crash, which was played in court today, and we'll have that all new starting at 5. A United States Marine from Metro Detroit still missing after disappearing more than a month ago. 39-year-old Douglas Calhoun has been missing since June 1st. That night, he called a friend about 3:30 in the morning to say he made it to his home on Detroit's west side. That was the last time anyone heard from him. We've been covering this story for weeks, and his family is pleading with the public for help once again.
We want him back. We need him back. He has a big family that's waiting for him, that need him. We need him back in our life.
The reward has been increased to $6,000 for any information in the case. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-SPEAK-UP. The first handshake, the first face-to-face meeting, July 7th, 2017. It goes down in history as it was the day President Donald Trump finally met Russian President Vladimir Putin. There's a lot riding on this meeting. Kimberly Gill is in the newsroom. And Kimberly, are we getting any more details about what was said, what was not said behind closed doors?
Yes, Karen, we are. Good afternoon to you. The big question for many people, would President Trump bring up Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election, and how hard would he push the Russian leader on that topic? Well, the meeting started with the usual diplomatic pleasantries.
President Putin and I have been discussing various things, and I think it's going very well. We've had some very, very good talks. We're going to have a talk now, and obviously that will continue.
No cameras were allowed for the actual meeting. While scheduled to last only 30 minutes, it actually stretched for 2 hours. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, one of the people in that room, says the president pressed Putin on the 2016 election, but he says Putin denied any Russian involvement. Tillerson did not say if the president accepted Putin's denial. Now, there is one point of agreement. U.S. officials say the U.S. and Russia have agreed to a ceasefire in southwest Syria. Meanwhile, the G20 summit continues and things are pretty tense there. German Chancellor Angela Merkel says coming up with a climate change declaration is proving challenging, with President Trump pulling out of the U.S. Paris Climate Accord. She also says trade negotiations are proving difficult as well. The summit will end on tomorrow. And also, take a look at these pictures. Thousands of protesters are on the march once again through the streets of Hamburg. This video just coming into the newsroom. Protesters getting out of control, starting fires, as you see there. We've seen hundreds of police officers in riot gear so far. We are monitoring this situation and will bring you updates as needed. And Karen, as for the presidential summit, I'm sure we'll be hearing more details about what happened behind closed doors in the next few hours. We'll have more on Local 4 News at 5 o'clock, and NBC Nightly News is reporting from Hamburg tonight at 6:30. Until then, we'll send it back to you.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Kim. Meantime, after a long day of politics and press, it was time for some entertainment. The group of 20 leaders and their significant others attended a concert at Hamburg's spectacular new concert hall. They will hear Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, conducted by American Kent Nagano. Happening right now, a final step in the grieving process for a local family who has managed to turn the heartache of the death of their son into something good for hundreds of people who never met him. The phrase "enjoy life" is often taken for granted or ignored, but today it means something very specific in Washington Township, and that's where we find our Paula Tutman. Hi, Paula.
Hey, Karen. Yeah, and in fact, this is the sign you'll see when you enter Washington Township by way of 26 and Van Dyke. In short, it says "enjoy life," but it also means true love, great commitment to charity, and of all else, remembrance. Stanley Babinski says how fitting that this morning Mother Nature gave us thunder, lightning, and rain.
And here it is, sunny, blue skies, happiness.
He dreamed of his son last night. His name is Stanley, too. He died 7 years ago. And
It's heartache and hurt every day.
before Stanley passed away from cancer at age 22, he made a list of things he wanted to do.
He came up with goals to look forward to, things to do to improve himself, to accomplish, things we all should be doing.
Beat his illness, get a degree,
To get a job, to be more responsible, move out of the house, and the final goal was enjoy life.
His father found that list after his death and has spent the last 7 years living life as his son would have wanted him to. Today, the last and final of Stanley's rules.
So over by the bushes, up a little, no, this way, in the front, so everyone can see him towards the front, yep.
His father has turned it into a fundraising campaign.
T-shirt sales, yard sign sales, bumper sticker sales that spread the word of enjoy life. Nick, can you go out with Bethany?
The biggest beneficiary, the Boys and Girls Club of Washington Township that Stanley and his wife Lisa have built with their grief.
This community wouldn't be being served if it wasn't for Stan and Lisa's passion to be able to turn what was such an awful experience, the loss of their son Stanley.
Here to drop off the sign, and I have some T-shirts, so you said you wanted for some of your staff.
He's a strong person, and he just continues to keep giving back to the community. As much as their heart has been broken, he doesn't stop.
We love you, Stanley, and we miss you. You'll never be forgotten, and your message will continue on. Enjoy life.
You know, it is no accident that the launch of this campaign is on 7/7/17 to honor the 7th goal of Stanley. You know what? This family is clearly still in grief, but they're finding ways to give and enjoy life. They will continue to stiffen their lips, straighten their legs, and walk face first into the wind. Karen, I'm going to put a link to Stanley on my Facebook page, Local 4 Paula Tutman, so you can reach out to him and let him know. Oh, I just got touched just now. So that you can let him know how you choose to enjoy life.
I love this story. 2 words, and it means so much, and they are so remarkable. Paula Tutman, thank you very much.
They really are.
Still ahead, a baby photo goes viral and people get very angry. We will show you the picture the mother says sparked death threats. Also ahead, violence in midair. Why several passengers on a Delta flight say they had to restrain one man and the pilot had to turn that plane around. But first, the surprising behavior of a mother who's charged with a horrifying crime. More of this video at her very odd request when we come back. Meantime, we continue with breaking news from Milan in Monroe County. That is where US 23 is closed in both directions at Plank Road. You can see there's been a very serious accident involving a truck. The fire departments have been called. There are multiple trucks there responding to the scene. We're told at least one person was airlifted to the hospital by survival flight. We are on top of the story and we'll keep you updated throughout this evening.
1940. Coming up all new on Local 4 News at 5 and 6.
You may remember a business owner from Detroit's West Side who had $10,000 worth of tools stolen from his business in a brazen robbery.
He shaved his beard a little bit and shaved the side of his head, and tried to change it, but the Channel 4 viewers were a little bit smarter than that, and we were able to catch him.
We'll tell you the unconventional way he was able to track down one of the thieves at 6.
All right, thank you, Coco. First at 4, we're tracking stories making headlines all across America on this Friday. We start with a very bizarre court appearance by this woman. She's that Georgia mother charged with killing 4 of her young children and their father. Isabel Martinez kept smiling at the camera. She started making some odd motions, and she said she doesn't want an attorney. Yesterday, police found most of her family stabbed to death. Another girl, just 9 years old, survived, but has serious injuries. The judge urged Martinez to get an attorney. Her next court hearing is later this month. Moving now to Oakland, California. Look at these dangerous flames pouring out of an apartment complex. The building was still under construction, but the fire was also putting other buildings at risk. Firefighters spent much of their time trying to stop the flames from spreading. At least one nearby building was evacuated so far. No reports of injuries, and the cause of the fire is under investigation. Lots of people talking about this. Another fight on board an airplane. This time, a first-class passenger is accused of assaulting a flight attendant. The plane was taking off from Seattle for Beijing when it had to turn around. Police say a man attacked the flight attendant and several other passengers helped restrain the 23-year-old from Florida. 2 people suffered minor injuries. It's not clear what sparked the attack, but investigators say this is not considered a national security threat. And the video on cell phones will probably be released in a matter
very
of
soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Ben is back, and our eyes are to the skies on this Friday evening because we've got hot and cold mixing, and we could have some storms.
Boom, yeah. In fact, some of them are already out there. And that's after what we had this morning, which was loud in most spots and gave us some much needed rain. We'll talk about that in a minute. But this is what's out there currently. 4 Live radar shows a line of storms just now starting to enter Genesee County. And you can tell by the deep red colors. Those are some pretty intense downpours. Definitely some lightning strikes there, too. So far, these are below severe limits, but a storm with 60-mile-an-hour winds not out of the question as we get through the evening tonight. Most of the area is dry, and we'll watch that line continue to sag south as there is enough instability to work with. This is where the cold front is. Usually behind the front, we see much more stable conditions, drier air. That is not the case this time. The dew point's still in the muggy territory, even north of that front, and much of the area really feeling that humidity. Dew point 69 in Metro, 70 in Ann Arbor. You couple that with temperatures which are in the 80s, low to mid 80s out there, definitely feeling like summer in southeast Michigan. So we'll look for at least scattered thunderstorms to take us through the evening hours. Once we get past midnight tonight, everything should settle down. We'll be dry overnight and most of the upcoming weekend. The computer model's really insistent about bringing in a stray shower midday tomorrow. It's a slight shot. I think a lot of us are going to stay completely dry. Other than that, look for a mix of sun and clouds. And then as we get into Sunday, I think most of us will be dry. There will be some development well north of us as you get up towards Saginaw, maybe a little bit further north. So just a slight chance our north zone can see a late shower. Other than that, temperatures looking pretty fantastic with lower humidity as well. 61 tonight, scattered evening thunderstorms, and we will be drying overnight. High temperatures tomorrow, a lot different because of the humidity and the drop in those temperatures. 77 in Dearborn, 76 in the city. We'll call it officially 78 at the airport. South zone temperatures tomorrow, mid 70s generally. But with that low humidity, it is going to feel completely different than what we've got out there today. Mid-70s, and again with a mix of sun and clouds for most of us, with just that slight chance of a stray shower. And we'll see the upper 60s closer to the lakeshore in our north zone, generally low to mid-70s for highs tomorrow. Highs will start stacking up again as we head towards next week. And even though the weekend's dry, we'll start bringing thunderstorm chances in as we get into next week. But with a beautiful weekend ahead of us, let's go out to Plymouth, where our Andrew Humphrey is standing by. And he is at the 38th annual Art in the Park event. Andrew, what's going on?
Oh, Ben, tons of painting. That's what Art in the Park is all about. Take a look. I just got a few dozen of my favorite friends right here painting away. This is one of the most magnificent events that's happening here in Plymouth all weekend long. I'm here with Rachel Rourke, the director of Art in the Park. Yeah. Rachel, what makes this art activity so special?
This is our kids mural, and it's a free activity for kids all weekend long. They can come help us paint a square. So we'll need thousands of kids to help us paint these 3 canvases.
More kids than these?
Yeah, we need a lot of kids, so come on down.
There's plenty of time to come down this evening, isn't there?
Yeah, we're open until 7 tonight, and we're open 10 to 5 tomorrow.
Okay, and it's all weekend long?
All weekend long.
Does it cost anything?
The event is free to the public.
Oh, fantastic. And what are some of the other art activities that are here?
We have all kinds of artists that travel from all over the country, 400 different art booths.
Fantastic. Rachel, thank you very much. We'll be with you again later on during 5 and 6 o'clock here at Art in the Park in Plymouth. Everyone say back to you, Ben and Karen.
Back to you, Ben and Karen.
Thank you very much, Andrew. And I see the tents are out there, so they're well covered just in case those storms pop up. Karen, back to you.
All right, thank you, Ben. Still ahead. Can you imagine getting death threats after posting a photo of your baby online? Take a look at this photo and look really closely. Can you guess what caused so much anger on social media? The story behind this picture coming up. And get a roof, get a rifle. This special offer is going viral as well. We'll tell you about the backlash. Stay here, trending stories next. All right, let's talk trending stories. This video ad for an Alabama roofing company has social media buzzing. In the ad, the owners of Digital Roofing Innovations say if you sign up for a new roof with them, you'll get a free AR-15. Turns out getting a free gun in exchange for buying a roof is legal. Customers would undergo the standard background check, of course, but the ad sparked controversy, with some saying it promotes violence. The owners insist that wasn't their intention. I don't know if he needed to be in his boxers, but I think it increased that viral thing. Another online backlash is a reminder that you can't always believe what you see online. Take a look. This photo is sparking a huge debate on social media. It looks like the 6-month-old has a pierced dimple with a diamond stud. Thousands of people saw the photo and some went nuts. Mom says she even received death threats, but stud was actually pasted on. It's not real. Mom says she's actually against piercings and posted the photo to spark discussion. Well, she sure did. She got more than she bargained for. Well, the Royal Oak Imagine Theater has started offering a dine-in option so customers can order an entire meal while watching a movie. The menu includes sandwiches, sliders, pizzas, and salads. The new offering kicked off a little quieter last month, and Imagine says the idea is getting some positive reviews. The chain is looking for ways to upgrade your movie experience. Right now, the dine-in option is only offered in one auditorium, and you need to arrive 30 minutes early to get your order in.
Perfect idea.
I kind of like it. Anytime you don't have to cook.
And you can still get liquor there too, right?
That's true. They tell me this. I don't know.
Yeah.
Still ahead. This hungry bear went to great lengths looking for food. The surprising place he tried to break into next.
His food allergy is life-threatening. George's EpiPen is his lifesaver.
I was covered with hives and my lips began to swell and my throat began to close.
But with his active lifestyle and the high cost of EpiPens, he would love an alternative, and researchers think they might have one. I'm Dr. Frank McGeorge. Tonight at 11, the easier way to treat life-threatening allergies without needles.
Our equipment